Steve Dangle Podcast. Powered by Sports Interaction. Wanna bet?
Steve the Steve Dangle Podcast with your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
So today is our final holiday episode. We'll be back Monday and all the way through free agency. So you don't have to worry. Also, we have a live show coming up in Kingston on the 24th of January.
You're just doing the announcement like that?
I'm just saying, I'm not going to tell you how to get in for it yet.
What?
But we have a live show coming up on the 24th.
You just drop a bomb?
Yeah.
You know what's hilarious? It's on the 27th.
Oh, it's on the 27th. Not on the 24th. There you go. So now you know.
24th is Tuesday.
Oh, okay. I thought it wasn't. Anyway, long story short, there you go. So Jesse, what are we doing today?
Today we're looking into our crystal ball, I should say.
Okay.
And we are telling you what is definitively going to happen in 2023.
Okay.
Based on
All right.
our smarts.
Okay.
And brilliance.
Yeah, that's what's happening today.
Okay. All right, I'm ready. Ready.
You forget this every single episode, but we got to get to David first.
Oh, hi, Dave. Let's bring him on.
You can bet that with David Bastel. Brought to you by Sports Interaction. Get in the action and make a play. 19 plus. Please play responsibly.
Dave, it's our last holiday episode, and really next week we're getting into like full blown. Let's get to the All-Star game. Then it's trade deadline. Then it's playoffs, baby. So what are we going to talk about in terms of like long-term great prop bets at Sports Interaction that people can jump on now?
Let's talk about that mid-season Stanley Cup futures bet at Sports Interaction. And I'm going to give you a big surprise here, and I wonder why, in a sense, just because of, I know it's a good team, but how could the Avalanche still be number one at 7-1? Because right now the Avalanche are number one. Boston is just right behind them, 707, I believe, at number two, which I thought they were going to kind of make that jump, guys, but. The Avalanche are missing half their roster. I know that, but are you still confident that they can make that push and get this all together in the next couple of months?
It's tough, but I feel like the Avalanche's odds aren't going to get any. They're not going to get any tastier than this right now because they're also like they're in on everyone, right? Like
trade wise,
yeah. Bo Horvat. Imagine adding him to that roster and they get
Chikrin.
healthy.
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to get him for less than 7-1?
all the
Or
Avs
more
need
than
to do is get
7-1?
healthy and into the playoffs.
Yeah. Oh, that's a really tough one, man. The Avs are, I think, $2 Steve's staying away from that one.
Oh, wow. You abstains. Jesse, what about you?
I'm sticking with my pick. I don't like people who flip-flop, so the New York Rangers.
Boo.
They're the best team to win the Stanley Cup at the beginning of the season based on the depth of their talent and everything they have and the best goalie in the world. And I think that's going to continue throughout the playoffs. And I think the New York Rangers have a really good shot to win the Stanley Cup.
Almost 19-1 odds on that, too. 19-1.
What?
Yeah. That's good for
And
the
they're hating
dollars.
up.
$2.
$2 Steve could be tempted.
Dave, what do we have next?
Yeah, next, let's go to the Atlantic Division. Maple Leafs are part of that dogfight for top spot. I still think they're in reach when you look at them at 4.5 to 1. Boston, of course, is number one just because of what they've done, but they're not going to maintain this pace, are they?
I mean, surely not.
but-
unless they're the best team in 25 years.
That's the thing.
I have a hard time
I don't
believing
think
it.
Every time we say that about Boston, though, they go and they do it.
Yeah.
That's what's so fucking annoying about cheering against the Bruins, man.
I thought everyone was underrating them. I didn't think this.
I know.
No,
But
this
they're
is
already this far
ridiculous.
ahead.
I
Who's
know.
catching them? That's the question.
Toronto.
It's not that
But who
can
else
they
is
maintain
catching them?
It's a 2-horse race right now.
Yeah.
It's
That's
Toronto or
what
Boston.
the odds say too.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's worth placing a bet on Toronto. Because if Boston takes a little bit of a step back and Toronto remains hot, Toronto has a good shot to win the Atlantic.
What about Winnipeg?
What?
The Atlantic.
The Atlantic.
We're talking about the
I
Atlantic.
said what I said.
Okay.
Winnipeg has decided to stay in the Central.
Yeah. Sorry,
Listen,
Steve.
Winnipeg has played in all sorts of divisions. They were in
Okay.
the Southeast. Why is it so strange that they can win the Atlantic?
He makes a good point.
Yeah, no.
All right. And with that, Dave, we will see you live on Monday, my friend.
Sounds good. Happy holidays, everyone.
Okay, so what predictions do you want to start with, Jess?
Let's do the awards first.
Ooh.
I think that'll be the best thing to run down.
All right.
On Wednesday, we talked a little about the Stanley Cup. Let's start there. Who's your Stanley Cup prediction? Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I have predicted this team would make the Stanley Cup final in, I think it was back-to-back years, except for last year. Carolina Hurricanes. I have the Carolina Hurricanes. Last year was about a really good team finally getting over the hump. That was Colorado. They had this weird second round hump. This year it's going to be Carolina that finally does it.
Okay, but who's in the finals? Isn't that the question?
No, Stanley Cup prediction.
just the
Yeah, no,
prediction.
let's we can
Who's
do
in the finals?
Who are they playing?
Who are they playing?
Who's coming out of the West?
Oh,
That's an interesting one.
we're gonna go all glittery fun. It's gonna be Carolina versus Vegas.
Oh, I like
Nice.
that. I like that a lot. Jesse, what about you?
I got the New York Rangers, to the surprise of everyone.
What?
I think the New York Rangers are going to come out of the East. It's going to be a hard-fought battle between them and Boston and Tampa and Toronto, but eventually Igor will prevail. Panarin will pot so many goals, and Zibanejad will raise his arm like Merrick Malik and take the New York Rangers to the Stanley Cup final. And out of the West, who will they defeat? I think it'll be probably either Winnipeg or Edmonton.
Pick one.
What?
I think you're out of your mind.
I'm going to tell you right now. I have picked one.
Mm.
It's the Winnipeg Jets.
Hey, all
Winnipeg
right.
Jets are going to Stanley Cup final, everybody. It's going to be a battle of the two goalies who are probably the top two in the league. No disrespect to Saros and Sorokin and all the other great goalies, but Hellebuck versus Sturkin in the Stanley Cup final, that's what I'm thinking is happening.
I think you guys are both crazy to write off the Avs this early. They have been unhealthy, and I grant you that. But they're still the Avs, and they're still going to be healthy, and or at least they're going to be healthy enough. I think Nathan McKinnon being back, they're going to make some sort of big trade. You know that's going to happen. They need that extra second line center. They need that. They
Extra second
you know
line
what I mean?
center.
They already have one, but they need like another person of Kadri's skill level, and they're going to do it. Joe Sakic's going to do it. So the Avs are going in the West, and in the East, another team that's going to have a big trade deadline is Boston, and this is it. It's the last ride. Boston's going all the way to the show, the big show anyway. And I think, and I hate betting against the Leafs, but I do think the Boston Bruins are so good this year, and this is it.
I hate this division, bro.
I hate it too. I hate it.
Also,
but it's true.
When you take a look at this and you're like trying to predict and everything, you realize how much deeper right now the East is than the West.
Yeah,
Like it's not even fair right now.
there's a chasm this year that hasn't been there in years past.
Yeah, it used to be the other way around.
Yes,
It
all
sure
the
did.
time.
All
yeah.
those California teams when they were strong, and now they're all weak-ish. So, except for LA.
They're a playoff spot,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, sure.
All right, next award we are going to do Art Ross. This should be the easiest award in the world. My pick is Connor McDavid.
Can you explain? That's I don't care. Connor McDavid.
Yeah.
Connor McDavid.
All right. Hart Trophy. This one's a little trickier.
Connor McDavid.
Ooh, I think just because there was so much noise about him early on, Jason Robertson. There was so much noise
Excuse me?
about Jason Robertson winning the Hart.
Yeah. You think he's going to win the Hart Trophy?
Yeah.
Over Connor McDavid?
Over Connor McDavid.
The season that Connor McDavid's having?
Because everyone, when they vote on the Hart Trophy, they go, okay, who other than Connor McDavid can I give this to? We've seen it happen
Yeah,
more than
we
once.
we saw them do it with Taylor Hall.
Yes.
That should have been Connor McDavid's trophy.
Connor McDavid's going to put up like 60 goals.
Connor McDavid is the
What are you talking about?
he's Art Ross and Hart, baby.
What are you talking
Is
about?
this your first time watching the league?
My pick for the Hart Trophy is Connor McDavid.
All right.
Now, this one I think is a little more interesting.
Okay.
Rocket Richard. Who you got, Steve?
Jason Robertson.
I think that's a good one. I think Jason Robertson's a good one. I'm going to go a little
Followed by Nick.
I'm going to go a little off the board here. I'm going to say Tage Thompson.
You stole my pick.
Oh.
Because Tage has been so dominant, it's not Dallas fans are going to be like, what, you don't like Jason Robertson? Of course I like Jason Robertson. But Tage Thompson is the only guy on Buffalo that can regularly score anyway, so he's going to get a lot of opportunity to do it. And the way he's been playing with using his body to just dominate teams in a way we haven't seen in years, Tage Thompson, man. Jesse?
Tage Thompson was my pick as well. I think because, like you said, he's the only one doing the scoring for Buffalo that he can just muster his way to maybe a Rocket Richard this season. Unless Connor McDavid keeps it up, because his pace has been absolutely absurd. It's been at a 70-goal pace all year. It's not going to keep up. Maybe it will. Who knows? But I think Tage passes him. They're very close right now. I think he edges them out at the end of the season.
All right.
This one, there's not a clear front runner at all, I don't think. Norris Trophy.
There isn't. This is the one that I put the most research into. So the Norris Trophy is based on points. It's based on how many people actually watch you, and it's based on reputation.
Yeah.
Erik Karlsson is having an absurd season. He's already got, at the time we're recording this, 42 points, which means he's on pace for like 90. But everyone knows he's not good at defense. So, and also the Sharks are likely, very likely, are not going to make the playoffs. Rasmus Dahlin is in there as well. The Sabres are probably not going to make the playoffs. They might, and that, I think, changes the conversation. So to me, if we're getting rid of non-playoff teams and we're doing reputation, I'm going Adam Fox.
Oh, interesting.
Adam Fox. I think he's fifth right now, fourth or fifth in defensive scoring. And I believe he's won it before.
He has.
Yep. And people love a reputation pick. There's another guy who you guys might pick, and I just don't think he's going to get it.
He definitely doesn't have the reputation. But like you said, a lot of this is, hey, which defenseman scores the most points? You know, that leads to that. And then this player is also pretty good defensively, unlike Erik Karlsson. Cool. So I think we default to the defenseman who's going to put up the most points and is decent defensively, which is Winnipeg Jets' Joshua Morrissey.
Oh, man, he's been great.
We're going to see...
If there was a most improved trophy, he'd probably win it.
Yeah, well, I don't know why they don't have one. All the other sports have them. I think we're going to see a Winnipeg Jets team that's going to finish very high in the standings, very high in the Western Conference, either 1 or 2 or 3, top 3 somewhere in there. They're going to win their division. And Joshua Morrissey is going to be a standout breakout candidate for this season. And if he is top 3, top 2 in points, maybe he passes Erik Karlsson. I don't know how you don't give him the Norris Trophy for a team that prides itself on a great defensive game.
Yeah, I don't agree or disagree with either of your picks, guys. I mean, Cale Makar, you still have to have in there as a potential. He's Cale Makar
all the time.
But I'm going to go off the board with a guy who also is not getting really his due. And he's not going to get... Riley. Listen, I'll be full on with you. I don't think he's going to win this, but I definitely think he should. And that's Rasmus Dahlin.
Wow.
Rasmus Dahlin, who is third in defensive scoring right now in the NHL on a team that isn't very good and has finally started to become the player that we all kind of thought he was going to be. This is probably not the year. This is probably the Norris setup year, but to be different and to give a guy some spotlight who deserves it, Rasmus Dahlin has been unbelievable.
Minutes.
Too many penalty minutes to get the Norris, you think?
That's too many penalty minutes.
Oh, man.
Another guy who could probably be up for most improved player.
Yes.
Honestly.
Yeah, no question. No question. Next one, Jesse.
Calder Trophy.
Ooh.
This one I think is easy.
Yeah, I'm interested what your answer is.
Mr. Matty Beniers.
Interesting. Okay.
I think he's going to lead all rookies in scoring. Yeah. And he's on a very good team. The Seattle Kraken, very surprise good. I don't know how Matty Beniers gets it. Like, who else is competing with him? Who you got?
Great question. Adam, who do you got?
Oh, Beniers. Cole Perfetti, I guess you could throw in there too, but I think Matty Beniers is the guy.
I think I know where Steve's going, and I think he's a close... I shouldn't say nobody's competing with him because this guy's second. And it's not a too far off second.
I think you're both completely wrong. I mean, when your team is one of the best in the league and you're their starting goalie, you have to go with Logan Thompson.
It's not bad at all.
You have to go Logan Thompson.
I think there's going to be some marks against Logan Thompson, not that it's fair, because he has such a great team in front of him. I think people are going to look at Matty Beniers and go, he's actually leading the team. Whereas Logan Thompson, a lot of people I think see him as he's he's been great. He's been a great surprise. They're thrilled about it. but he also does have a great team in front of him.
The Golden Knights don't need to be good this year. Like, when it was announced Robin Lehner wasn't going to be their goalie, it's like, oh, they might stink.
Right.
They
need to be
goalie.
good every year. That's their owner down. That's their ethos.
I mean, like, they don't need to be good based on
Expectation.
Like, we were all like, oh, yeah, but they don't have a goalie. Well, they do. And it's Logan Thompson, the rookie.
Okay. All right.
I don't know about that one, but it's close. It's close. Like, I think he's second, but I don't think he edges out Matty Beniers. Also, Yanni Gourde, Adam, leading the team. What are you talking about? Matty Beniers.
Well, no, but he's like, I mean, is Yanni Gourde driving the offense in the same way that Matty Beniers? Like, Matty Beniers is pure offense. Yanni Gourde is not the same in that regard.
He's driving the Christmas suit vibes.
Not that, listen, if people are going to take me wrong here, Matty Beniers' ceiling in terms of points scored over his career, I'm yelling at the comment section before we even have one, is much higher than Yanni Gourde's. Can we agree on that?
I just like Yanni Gourde.
Exhausted.
I just don't want you to disrespect him. And Jared McCann and Jordan Eberle and Andre Burakovsky, who actually leads the team in scoring. But Matty Beniers right now, as we are recording, is third in the team in scoring.
Guy's kid.
Behind,
this kid's amazing.
Eberle and Burakovsky. Yeah, he's having a fantastic year. I don't know, Steve. You got to probably give him that. We touched on this a little as well. I think we all gave our picks and you can bet that, but let's just get them out there officially. Jack Adams Trophy.
Right. Oh, boy.
I put money on Sheldon Keefe. That doesn't mean I think he's going to win.
I got Jimmy Monty Burns. That's my pick. I think what Boston's doing is unbelievable. You know, he's a brand new coach.
I agree with you, but I also think Boston is a far more talented team than a team like the Jets.
Yes.
And what Rick Bowness has done in there and completely changed the culture that was supposed to be poisonous, and these guys hated each other, and the two-star players didn't want to be there, and they're stripping their captain, who they tried to trade this summer, and all of a sudden they're this good. Man, I don't know. I think you got to give them that.
You know what? I think you sold me. Rick Bowness.
People don't pay attention to the Jets enough, but that was a big dramatic story last year.
Listen, ultimately it comes down to a race between two guys who were supposed to be on teams that were taking a step backward.
100%.
The Bruins because of injury and age, the Jets because no one seemed to enjoy being a Jet. And both teams are doing great. I'm going to give it to Bowness just for the story.
And poor Lindy.
Yeah.
The guy goes on a 15-game win streak and we're like, nah, fuck off.
Man. Those fans threw those drinks onto the ice and they threw all their playoff hopes out the window.
No,
Stop it.
Stop.
Rick Bowness, it's a really good pick because a lot of the reason that the Jets are playing the way they are is because of his structure and what he's brought to the organization. The players haven't really changed. Like from what it was last year to this year, it's not
Same
the players, it's how they're playing and the effort they're giving on the defensive end, especially. And that's on Rick.
Who was the guy that even filled in
for?
Who was the guy that took over after Paul Maurice? What even was his name?
Lowry. Dave Lowry?
Was it Dave Lowry?
I think it was Dave Lowry.
Like, not a fit. Like, look at what this guy, like, they
Nothing
say,
changed.
you know, coaches mean, you know, oh, coaches don't mean that much or whatever. Man, they really for sure do.
I think they do.
Yep. Next up, who makes the biggest splash at the trade deadline? What team? Who goes for it?
Who
sends 2 first-round picks for nothing?
So I gotta go with the team that you know what? All the phones went out on day 2 of the draft, and this team wasn't bothered because they didn't need them because they didn't have any picks. The Colorado Avalanche.
Yeah.
We already know they're willing to sell the absolute farm to do this. I think they're missing 1 or 2 picks from this year, even though they didn't pick last year at all. But we're forgetting how many prospects they also have. They still have a glut of guys who they got either directly from or as a result of the Matt Duchene trade. Everything must go. Everything that's not tied down.
My answer is easy. It's Boston. They always go out and get the best person at the trade deadline. They always go out and get who's the guy that's available? Okay, that's the guy we want. Taylor Hall and Rick Nash and the Charlie Coyle pickup I always talk about is like a holy shit wow pickup. Hampus Lindholm last year.
Yeah.
They always go out and spend at the deadline, and this is the deadline for them to spend. This is the deadline for this team. This is it. So I think if you're Boston, who cares? Fire them all into the sun. Go load up, become like a transformer where you literally add cars to your arms and legs to power up beforehand. Honestly, I think awesome. They're going to be great. Boston Bruins, man. This trade deadline is going to be exclusively Boston and Colorado.
I don't know how you guys didn't pick the biggest spectacle on earth, the greatest show in the NHL, the Vegas Golden Knights. All their glittery, shiny things. They're going to go out and they're going to have...
With what money?
They're going to have a top 1 or 2 or 3 team in the Western Conference. And they're going to say, hey, we are Vegas and all we do is move bodies to try and get more better bodies.
Yep.
That is all they're going to do. And I think going into the trade deadline, we're going to see them go chase after whatever big fish is there because they're Vegas and they don't care that you've been here for an hour. We're going to move you because there's somebody else who might be better.
Most teams... would be too afraid to end Phil Kessel's Iron Man streak with
Vegas.
a healthy scratch. Vegas will do that in a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah.
And not even apologize.
You're like, oh, Mark Stone signed for 5 years. They're like, I don't know. Maybe we just trade him and get somebody else.
Yep.
William Carey, like everybody loves Jonathan Marchessault. So what if we just traded him?
What if we just did whatever it took?
Yeah, and I think like if there's a real opportunity, because the West is a lot weaker than the East here, that they can come out of the West very easily and make it to another Stanley Cup final. And if adding a couple more pieces, plus they have their first round pick, package that with one of their stars to get a bigger star, Vegas is doing it.
They have so much LTIR too.
Yeah.
Shea Weber, Robin Leonard, Zach Whitecloud, Brett Howden, and Nolan Patrick. And I think most of those guys, or at least 3 of those guys, may never play again. They have $3.5 million right now in LTIR space. I guess they could do it. But they are also, believe it or not, they're the 96. They're the highest paying team this year overall. $96 million.
Not surprised.
Not surprised at all. Not surprised.
And like injuries happen. If an injury happens and it frees up more LTIR space, or more LTI space, like they're just gonna go and spend it.
And there's no salary cap in the playoffs, folks. Remember that.
Exactly.
What?
All right, we did Jack Adams. We did trade deadline. Let's do something negative.
Oh.
First head coach to be fired.
Ooh.
Who gets handed the pink slip first? What was the year we went and no head coach was fired during the season?
Oh, that was
2019?
I want to say it was right before COVID.
18-19, I think.
Yeah, that was crazy. But then somebody got fired on the last day.
Yes.
Their season ended, but the season was still going on.
Yeah.
It was like their 82, and then the next games other teams were playing, and they were fired. So I think it doesn't count. But who gets fired?
Bruce Boudreau.
That's not a bad pick.
Yeah. And I know that's sort of obvious. There's other ones in there that I'd like to pick because I think that they should go. But Bruce is the obvious one. Rutherford didn't want him anyway. So didn't hire him, didn't want him. The only reason they're keeping him right now is because Travis Green's contract they're still paying for him. And they now have to pay for Bruce Boudreau as well. And the team sucks. So, you got to think it's at some point they're going to be like, okay, well, we'll just bite the bullet. There's half a year left on both of these deals.
You know what? I think this could double down as my bold prediction.
Oh.
Because there's who gets fired? Coaches of disappointing teams.
Yes.
Right. Also, coaches of teams whose management think they're doing a pretty good job. And I was thinking Dallas Eakins just because of the effort level of the Ducks. The Ducks don't care that they're bad. They're going for Bedard. The Blackhawks don't care they're bad. Most of the bad teams in the league, they don't really care they're bad. This team spent a fortune this past summer. They moved heaven and earth to get better, and they have gotten nothing but worse. Daryl Sutter.
Oh,
shit.
But he's a favorite of the owner. Murray Edwards loves Daryl Sutter.
No one likes wasting money. I went out this offseason. I got this guy. I got that guy. I got that guy. People thought, despite all odds, we got better. You disappointed me in the playoffs, and now you're disappointing me in the regular season. I wonder if he's gone.
Jesse, what do you got?
I don't know if I'm certain this is going to happen, but I think there's an inkling that it could.
You might not be wrong either.
Peter Laviolette in Washington in the Capitals. If this team, because they're in a mode where they need to go for it all the time. Their GM has said it, their president has said it, their owner has said it. As long as Alexander Ovechkin is here, we are trying to win. Yep. And they are not winning right now.
No,
and what do NHL teams do when they're not winning? They fire their head coach in hopes that sparks the locker room. I think there's a good chance if the Washington Capitals are sitting outside of a playoff spot come late January, early February, you just see them try and do something to spark the team, and you get rid of Mr. Peter Laviolette.
Oh,
easily the best story in the NHL is if Barry Trotz goes back.
Oh, wouldn't that be
storyline set for you?
That's so cool.
It's not happening, but imagine.
Not.
Imagine.
No, I think he's probably still mad at them for not giving him just a couple $100,000 more after he won a Stanley Cup.
He's right.
Like, are you kidding me?
Also, they should have re-signed him the year before. That's when they pissed him off. It was the summer before his deal expired.
Yep. And then he's like, fuck you, I'm going to win the cup and leave.
Yeah. And he did.
Okay. So we've got that one done. Let's do a couple more surprises. So let's do biggest surprise to miss the playoffs. Who you got missing the playoffs and be like, oh my gosh.
Calgary Flames. If they can't pull it together, I believe in the Calgary Flames, but I don't believe in the system that they're playing. The other thing that, I was watching them the other day, and Ryan Leslie brought up a really good point, and he said that the problem seems to be finish. And you look at the Calgary Flames, you see finish like people from Finland. No, like finish, as in like they finish the play and score a goal, guys. They have a bunch of playmakers. Yeah. Right? Huberdeau's a playmaker. Kadri's a playmaker. Lindholm's a playmaker. None of those guys are like, Grim Reaper scorers. Like, oh, fuck, this guy's definitely scoring on us tonight. I think the Calgary Flames have all the talent in the world, but it might just be a little bit too much of the, what do they call it? Remember the little things you'd get in NHL? Where it's like, this person's a playmaker, a PLR or something like that?
Oh, yeah.
This is too much PLR, not enough SCO. So that's my pick.
I can go next, Steve, because it looks like you're still looking for one.
Yeah, please go next.
I think this is an easy one. I think I'm performing a layup here. St. Louis Blues.
Yeah.
The St. Louis Blues always have high expectations. They're always trying to contend. They're definitely not in rebuild mode, but they just. I think it's fair to say they don't have it this year. It doesn't seem to be clicking. They haven't been able to put together a consistent stretch of winning hockey. And you look at things like their goal differential and how they're playing defense, and their goaltending isn't there. Mr. Jordan Binnington. I don't think the St. Louis Blues are a playoff team. The West, when you have LA and Seattle sneaking in there aren't enough playoff spots available, especially if a team like Calgary, who they expect to contend, if they try and get in there as well, there aren't 8 spots that the Blues can get into. So I think they're going to miss the playoffs, and it's not going to be a happy time.
They have a goaltending situation they got to figure out. Benner's been better lately, but I think, they do miss Ville Husso for sure.
Yeah, they had a good 1-2 tandem when they were both working, and it's not there anymore. And they don't have the goal scoring. Goal scoring is not there for St. Louis.
I'm torn. There's one from our predictions video from before the season. So I was higher on the Bruins than you guys, and I was right about that. And then there was another team I was much higher on who has just not been good at all, and that's the Nashville Predators. I don't know if you would say they're a surprise because they're behind both the teams that you guys mentioned. So I'm going to go with another team because you mentioned a team that is currently out of a playoff spot at the time we're recording this. And you mentioned a team that is also out of a playoff spot at the time we're recording this. So I'll say a team that's in a playoff spot, the Edmonton Oilers.
You think they're going to miss?
What?
They're like 1 point back.
Oh my
They're
God.
1 point up.
Connor McDavid missing the playoffs at this point in his career? I don't believe it.
Adam's basement is always so cold, but right now it got real hot.
Yeah, it sure did.
They are
Your
in a similar mold. Oh, I know. But they're in a similar mold to so many teams. If they make the playoffs, no one in their right mind bets against them because they have an actual fairy tale god Thor Ragnarok monster on their team, and Connor McDavid.
True.
I was talking about Draisaitl. But they struggle in the regular season, man. They really struggle in the regular season. They struggle to get stops. They struggle to defend anything. They struggle to consistently play in a way that the fan base can be satisfied with. You know what? You guys pick 2 teams not in the playoff spot. I'm picking one that is. Fuck it.
There you go. There you go.
Edmonton Oilers not making the playoffs.
Wow.
They're 1 point up at the time we're
That's
recording.
Steve, where are you from?
Canada.
What part of Canada?
Scarborough.
Oh no, Eastern bias.
Are you a Toronto media person?
No,
Media?
which means you automatically lie. Just ask people in Edmonton and Arizona.
You know what? None of us. Yeah, fuck. When did Arizona get
We
lumped
seek
in there?
the truth,
None of us.
not from you, Eastern Canadian media man. Out to sink entire NHL franchises with your podcast.
Maybe I should have said the team that won the President's Trophy last year, the Florida Panthers.
Honestly, that's a good pick too.
I don't think that'll be a surprise.
I mean,
They won the President's
it's a bit of a
Trophy.
shock. They did
Sure.
they scored 100 or they had 126 points last year as a team.
If I'm not mistaken, they gave up an unprotected first-round pick for Ben Sherrod.
Yeah,
And this is not the year to do that shit. So that could be a big problem.
that's a big one.
Let's flip side jersey that question. Biggest surprise to make the playoffs. I'm going to go real quick. I think this is an easy one. They are really in a playoff spot. They're going to cement their playoff spot heading into the back half of the season. The Seattle Kraken. I think they hold on to that spot. They're a lot. I have to admit when I'm wrong, and they are a lot better than I thought they'd be.
Oh, I thought they were garbage.
Everything they displayed in that first season, it was bad. Bad goaltending. Defense was like, and then no scoring. I've never seen a team not be able to score goals like the inaugural year, Seattle Kraken. And this year, things have kind of flipped. They've been able playing good defense. They get timely scoring. Matty Beniers, as we mentioned, is a star in the making. And I think the Seattle Kraken hold on to their playoff spot and they make the playoffs. I don't think they'll go deep, but I think they'll make it.
New Jersey Devils. I think that obviously, yes, listen, they have been amazing for most of this year. But to be honest with you, outside of New Jersey, who was like, yeah, Devils, woohoo. There were some people who were saying don't sleep on them. But did anyone think they were this good? No. Nobody did. Not even you Devils fans, and you know it. So I want to say what a pleasant surprise New Jersey has been. And it's kind of fun to see. And, you know, as of this recording, they just snapped a bit of a losing streak. But I think, how can you not go with the Devils, who were so fucking bad last year, and they used 8 goalies, and all of them had a save percentage under 880. I don't know how.
The goaltending was so abysmal.
Terrible.
Yeah, they're one of the coldest teams in the NHL right now, and they're still like 9 points up on the playoff spot.
And it's genuinely a surprise if they end up in like one of those top spots in the playoffs.
I'm struggling with this one. I'm torn between two teams, and one of them is higher up and has a stellar home record, which is why I think you might be wrong about the coach getting fired. The Washington Capitals. They're out of a playoff spot right now, but they're one of the hottest teams in the league. They have a stellar home record, which means their coach is able to at least do his job at home. And the other team that I want to say, just because as soon as they went on their annual November dip, we said, that's them, they're gone, they stink. Meanwhile, they have 7 wins out of their last 10, Buffalo Sabres.
Whoa.
Look at the Buffalo Sabres
Like that.
goal differential in comparison to the league. Where do they sit?
That's crazy. The Sabres are a plus 18.
That's a top 8 team level goal differential there.
There are 1, 2, 3, 4. There are only 4 teams in the East with a higher goal differential than the Buffalo Sabres.
It's unreal.
The Hurricanes, who are first place in the Metro, are a plus 14.
Mm-hmm.
What?
They're getting real unlucky in some of these losses. The Buffalo Sabres have been a lot better than people realize this season.
That's wild.
Yeah.
And the thing working against them is they have a below 500 home record. But wow.
If they had a little better goaltending and maybe some more defense and like overall score, like I'm naming every part of their lineup: a little more scoring, a little more defense, a little more goaltending. The Buffalo Sabres are like right on the cusp. That's a very good pick.
Yeah, maybe they belong where they are, but I think people slept on them after they did their annual dip, and everyone went, that's what they are. Don't look behind you; you might find the Sabres.
Hey, think you know which way it's going to go? Make your bet at Sports Interaction. Whatever your sport, Sports Interaction has you covered pregame. Live betting on all major sports, and of course, prop bets. Who doesn't love those? Want to bet? Head to sportsinteraction.com/SDPN. 19 plus. Please play responsibly.
Who finishes last, and then who wins the lottery?
The team that finishes last is the Chicago Blackhawks. They're like beyond not even trying. The Ducks at very least have like young talent worth fostering. The Blackhawks are just they traded for Peter Mrazek on purpose. Mm-hmm. Come on, they're not even trying.
That was my pick as well. I think the Chicago Blackhawks are doing the best job at tanking. I've credited Kyle Davidson with this many times. If your job is to suck, he is sucking the hardest.
Yeah.
Blackhawks are going to finish 32nd.
Now, guys, the Blackhawks are super bad. Like, they are the only NHL team right now with a win percentage under 300.
It starts with a 2?
Starts with a 2.
What?
290.
Oh my
Never
gosh.
seen it like that. But
points percentage.
But
What?
I do want to point you in the direction of the Ducks. I would have said Columbus a couple weeks ago because they are fucking terrible. I can't believe, like, I knew Columbus wasn't going to make the playoffs. I didn't know they were this fucking bad. They're so bad.
They don't have like any NHL talent.
No, they don't. And also,
Outside
like,
of their-
Werenski's out and, like, all that stuff. But to me, watching the Ducks play, and this is why I got so mad at the Leafs when they lost to them early in the year, the Ducks don't play bad. They play depressing. And, like, sometimes...
Loveless.
Like, you saw Dallas Eakins' face. Like, some Ducks fans actually thought I was defending him the other day, and I was like, I don't know what's defensible there, guys.
Get me the fuck out of here.
I said he's had the worst luck with terrible talent teams, which he has. Yeah. But those teams have always played like shit under him, and this is no joke. I look at, as of this recording, the Anaheim Ducks are 31 in the league, Chicago Blackhawks 32. The Ducks are up 3 points on the Blackhawks. The Blackhawks have 3 games to play. Now, there's no guarantee the Blackhawks get a win in those 3 games because they're terrible.
They're so bad.
But I got to say, man, if we're going to pick someone other than Chicago, the Anaheim Ducks are, they're the worst movie you've ever seen. They're terrible.
The Ducks are 3-6-1 in their last 10. The Blackhawks are 1-9.
Wow.
They've lost 8 straight.
Every time the Ducks step on the ice, you're like, the other team is better than them.
Every single time.
Every time.
It's just so... You watch it, like, any person who's watched any kind of hockey, you just see, the other team is better.
Yeah.
And that's not good.
Yeah.
Like, it's awful, awful hockey they're playing.
What I think gives the Blackhawks the edge is they're bad and they're going to get worse.
Yeah.
Like, they're trading guys.
Yeah. All right, let's get to that then.
Sure.
So I'm going to name players.
Do we do the draft lottery part?
Oh, yeah. Okay, let's do that as well. I think Chicago finishes last. They lose the lottery. Arizona gets it.
Oh, they have to get it.
Connor Bedard.
Too perfect.
Connor Bedard to the Arizona Coyotes.
Yeah.
That's my pick. What do you think?
And then he gets to make like 2 NHL debuts, like his actual NHL debut, and then the first game in Tempe.
8 years from now.
Yeah. Easily maximum chaos lottery winner. Vancouver Canucks.
Oh, I like that.
Absolute maximum chaos. No team is more head or chicken with their head cut off right now. And no team will double down on what they're already doing more than the Vancouver Canucks. It'll be so fun.
The Blackhawks are going to get it, guys. The NHL needs Chicago to do well. And the Blackhawks are going to get the number 1 overall pick this year.
No, they don't. What, are you suggesting they rig it?
No, I'm not saying. I'm not. If they did rig it, the smart thing would have been to give Connor McDavid to the Leafs. So I don't believe that they rig it. But
No.
I think Chicago is for sure getting this one.
Yeah, I know the Penguins were about to move, and then they got Sidney Crosby.
Yep.
But like, it's not rigged.
Okay, that might have been rigged.
They were going to sell that team, and then there was some phony other kind of lottery thing they were doing after the lockout. And
you should, if you don't know as a fan what happened after that lockout where the Penguins got Crosby, you should look it up. It's pretty fucking. If it happened today with social media, oh my god, can you imagine? However, he did save the Penguins there. They've won cups. I'm happy for him.
3.
There you go. Next one.
Well, I'll keep going to what we're saying, piggybacking off the Blackhawks. I'm going to name players, and we are going to name where they are going to finish their season. On what team?
Oh, I like this.
Start with the Blackhawks. Let's start with Patrick Kane.
Toronto Maple Leafs.
Oh my God! Please, God, no.
I think it's going to be the Toronto Maple Leafs.
I don't.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think he fits what they're trying to do.
I keep the thing people keep saying is him and Matthews want to play together. That's the.
You know what? I don't know. I have no idea how they would make this work financially, but he feels like a perfect fit for Vegas.
Oh, doesn't he though?
I have no idea how they would make that work.
You're right.
And I'm not going to bother putting too much research into how they would make that work.
Doesn't matter.
Vegas. Who cares?
You guys are both wrong.
Wait, what is it?
The New York Rangers.
Oh,
that's actually
Biggest American star goes to New York.
Mm.
Whew.
I can see it.
To the Rangers.
I can see it.
Jonathan Taves, Winnipeg Jets. I did this a previous episode a couple weeks ago. I think he's going to the Jets.
Winnipeg Jets. It makes sense.
I'll go third on that, and I like that. I think he seems like a great fit there for a team that needs like a defined leader who's won.
Yep.
I think. I mean, they're a great team.
Pretty hard team to beat up the middle.
Oh yeah,
you add him,
and he plays defense, which other forwards there do not.
Mm-hmm.
So that I like that.
You take the burden off him.
Yeah,
and you're plugging in Taves to your third line center.
Yeah,
like that's incredible.
Even fourth to start, man. Like they have a lot.
They've got a lot of talent up there.
Could put him on the wing for God's sake.
Bo Horvat,
Colorado.
Oh,
he ends up in Colorado. The perfect Nazem Kadri replacement. Push Newhook down or put him on the wing. He makes that team instantly more formidable. Bo Horvat.
The Leafs won't give up what they need to give up to get a guy like Bo Horvat. It's not going to happen. It's not in Kyle Dubas's nature unless he's a third line right wing grinder named Nick Foligno. That one time Dubas did it, he got burned, and he's never done it again.
And what team's he on now?
He's
fucking
on
Boston.
Fucking Boston. That's right. That's right. I think
Leafs are going to run into Nick Foligno in the playoffs. It's going to be awful.
I got to look here for a second because I want to know of the playoff teams who's having trouble scoring, right?
I didn't mean to do that.
What are you doing?
I don't know what Steve was up to.
Pushed a button.
Did you push a button? You pushed a button.
Okay.
One team that kind of intrigues me because they seem willing to fire everything into the sun all the time are the Florida Panthers. And they need goal scoring.
They need to make the playoffs.
They need to play defense too. They need to play defense, but the Florida Panthers need to make the playoffs. They make a lot of sense for a guy like that because I think they're just off, and I feel like they need a guy to come in there and go, "Hey, isn't this fucking great? We play hockey in Florida," and then all the rest of the guys in the room go, "You're right, we do." Yeah. How amazing is that? We can go golfing after this. This is incredible. I think Bo Horvat makes a lot of sense in Florida based on the run and gun style they play, and he's responsible, and he's a great leader, and he's a heck of a lot better spend, in terms of a deadline pickup rather than like Giroux or Sherratt, which is what they did last year.
They do not, if I'm not mistaken, have a first-round pick until 2026.
Well, they'll have to figure something out.
My pick is Vegas for many of the reasons that we've run down. I think Vegas goes after Horvat and they get him. JT Miller.
Vancouver.
I don't think
not getting traded.
JVR.
Oh,
not Toronto, though that'd be great.
You
know what? Florida.
Yeah, Florida makes sense.
Florida, I think that makes some sense.
Carolina. I think
JVR.
Yeah.
But does he play a Brind'Amour style?
Oh, yeah.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. 100%.
They'd shelter him so much.
Yeah, I know, but do they need it?
They need over-the-top production.
Okay.
They're always
like
just
goofy.
sort of solid and steady. You shelter him, you put him on your power play.
I wondered about Horvat in Carolina, too. That was one that I was thinking, that'd be dangerous.
Unfair.
John Klingberg.
Oh.
I got one. Ottawa Senators.
You know what?
And I still think they missed the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's my pick.
Klingberg plus an extension makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like if they could work, because that's what he wants.
Yeah.
And Ottawa's like, we need something. God, please help us.
Yeah.
But he's the same he's the same player as Shabbat, is he not?
Essentially. Where
are you going to find the time for that? Not that
they
their power play
compete for the power play spot. Yeah.
Ooh.
But I don't know. I I think Ottawa wants a defenseman so badly that they don't even think about it. It's kind of like an irrational move where it's like, John Klingberg is available. Yeah. And they just go take it from Anaheim.
Okay, then on that track, I think Klingberg goes to Edmonton because they're looking for a defenseman, something fierce right now, and they're willing to give up a ton for not a lot. And I don't think Klingberg would cost as much as some of the people that have been floated there. And they don't seem to care the type of defenseman that they get. They just need another warm body who can move the puck. And actually, I feel like he would be a better fit in Edmonton. A puck-moving defenseman like Klingberg, they got guys that can rough you up and that sort of thing. I think Klingberg, he makes a lot more sense than some of the names I've seen.
There are two teams currently in a playoff spot who have a sub 20% power play. Shockingly, the Carolina Hurricanes.
That's weird.
And the New Jersey Devils.
Really?
I'll say the Devils.
Interesting. With Dougie Hamilton there.
I just think he fits the way that they play hockey. And then you have you'd have a right side of Hamilton, Klingberg, Severson. You're moving a lot of pucks.
I like that. Okay.
Last one, Jacob Chychrun.
Ottawa, just shut up and kiss. Just shut up and kiss.
Yeah, I don't think Edmonton's going to get him. I think it's going to be Ottawa.
Shut up and kiss.
Yeah.
My pick is the Arizona Coyotes.
I don't
think they get it done this year. I think it's more of an off-season thing or next year's.
He's been
real good.
As good as advertised. I was tired of hearing about him because I'm like, listen, he hasn't played a game in months and he's currently playing the best hockey of his career. Go figure.
This one is, where does he start next season? David Pastrnak.
Boston. I think he re-signs in Boston. They're going to have lots of cap space.
He seems like the kind of guy too that, like he's the one that carries the torch along with Marchand to the next generation of Bruins.
Yeah,
and is willing to go through a couple lean years to do it.
Yeah,
they've won a lot. They've won a lot of games, and I feel like Pastrnak. Wouldn't it feel weird? It was like seeing Johnny Boychuk not as a Bruin for the first time. It was like, this is weird. This is wrong. This doesn't feel right. I think he's a Bruin too. I don't think he stays, or I don't think he would want to go.
Almost feels like he should be getting more award consideration.
Yes,
considering how good he's been and how good the team is.
The correct answer is the LA Kings.
Ooh,
the right side. The right side is Kempe, Trevor Moore, Kaliev, and then Velarde.
Right, and Trevor Moore sucks.
What?
He's actually really good. I'm just giving Mike a hard time.
I think you find a way to slot Pastrnak into that lineup for a team that I'm not saying they're desperate for scoring all of these years, but they've never been the highest scoring team. They found other ways to win. I think Pastrnak is exactly what the Kings need, depending on how this playoff run goes for them. And I can see him signing there.
Okay. I tell you why I love that idea. It would take away their cap space for Matthews.
Ah, that's true. It would.
Matthews to the Coyotes?
No. Stop.
Matthews to the Bruins?
I think it's the Leafs, Kings, or bust.
You don't think New York? I think Rangers are going to be in on that.
Yeah, I think they'll be bidding. I think every team should be bidding. Okay, let's finish this out. Super Bowl predictions.
Oh, starting with Steve.
Well, who's better at football than Josh Allen?
Oh,
right?
That's a good pick.
He's a big football player who's good at football, and he's going to put the rest of the NFL through a table. And this is the year the Buffalo Bills finally become the Buffalo Bills and win. Allen's going to pass it to, what's his name?
Stephon Diggs.
For sure, Stephon Diggs. And
Dawson Knox.
Who's the other one?
Dawson Knox.
Dawson Knox.
Gabe Dave.
That's a real name. Gabe Dave.
His name's Gabriel Davis.
Gabriel Davis.
Gabe Dave.
And Vincent Dorst. I made up a name.
That was not bad.
I like
Buffalo Bills.
I like this one a lot.
Who are they playing?
Oh,
let's see if he gets one in the NFC. Let's see if he can pick an NFC. Pick an NFC team, Steve. Just pick one.
Is this when they collide? Josh Allen and Joe Burrow?
No, that's an AFC team.
Wrong conference.
It's then probably the Rams. I bet
They're not going to make the playoffs.
Not going to make the playoffs.
You got to get one.
You did pick an NFC team, though.
They are NFC, but they're not.
This is my favorite thing, Steve, talking about football. It's the best.
Cardinals.
They're not going to make the playoffs. You got to pick a playoff team.
Texans.
Nope.
The
worst team in the league.
Cowboys.
There you go. That's a good pick.
There you go.
Cowboys, Bills. That could happen.
Cowboys, Bills.
Man. Okay, Jesse, I love this question because, first off, I love the way the divisions work in the NFL. Currently, Tom Brady, of course, is top of his division, and his winning percentage is .429. The Bucs are 6-8. The Steelers are also 6-8, and they're bottom of their division. It's hilarious the way it all works. But I think it's going to be Buffalo, and it comes down for me to the Eagles or the Vikings. In the NFC. Because I know the Cowboys are like the Toronto Maple Leafs. Yes. They're going to go get Odell. They're going to go get, what was that defensive guy that they're talking about? Signing his, anyway,
Vincent Dorst.
Is it Vincent Dorst? Dutch Vanderlei. They're going to go get Dutch. Hey, Dutch. The Cowboys will crumble under their own pressure, as they always do.
Always do
and
that.
Steven Smith will walk around with a cigar and a cowboy hat on, which I love. And I think it's going to be, I want it to be Minnesota Buffalo because I want it to be like the Ice Bowl. I want it to be two winter teams.
Who could forget?
Mm-hmm. Two also like
not a real thing.
Oh, those are two hurt franchises. Those are two devastating teams that can't win anything.
Yes,
having them both in the Super Bowl, neither of them are going to win. Like it's going to be,
it'll be like a tie. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait.
It's great thing about sports, though, fellas. Someone's got to win, right?
Exactly.
Thank you, Steve. You're right, man. You're right.
I think the San Francisco 49ers in the NFC do something crazy with. So they're currently running their third string quarterback,
and they're good. It's crazy.
And his name is Brock Purdy.
Shut up.
And
tell him where he was drafted.
Brock Purdy is famous for being the last pick in the draft.
Wow.
He was the last in his draft class year. He was the last pick that year. And now he's currently starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers.
He's the only starting QB to go last overall to start a game ever.
And he's been playing really well because the offense is so good that he just needs to manage the game, not fuck up. And he's been doing a great job at that. And I think like their defense is great and their running game is spectacular with Christian McCaffrey, that they can get to the Super Bowl. But I think they lose to, three of us got them, Buffalo Bills.
That's right.
I want the Bills to win for all the Bills fans that I know. I'm a Steeler fan, but how can you not cheer for the Bills? Right
yeah,
now?
Being from the GTA, there's so many Bills fans here.
Absolutely.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
You really know nothing about football. Like it doesn't factor into your life at all.
No. What was the line you turned out every year? I watch one Super Bowl a year.
No, I watch one Tom Brady game a year, the Super Bowl.
Yeah, there it is.
You said that for 10 years straight.
And he's been right every time.
All right. We got two more. We're doing NBA Finals prediction.
Oh.
You know a little bit about basketball.
Oh, man.
I do. Oh. What was the final score of the Nets Warriors game the other day?
Oh, it was like 148, 119 or something stupid.
Fuck. Because I like the Warriors, but they got absolutely killed. With basketball, I find you often just go with the obvious answer. So probably Celtics and is it Memphis?
What are you talking about?
It's in the
West?
Yeah.
It's the Nuggets, Grizzlies, Pelicans.
Which team's John Moran on again?
He's on the Grizzlies.
Yeah. He's on I go with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you a John Moran fan? John Moran's awesome.
Big fan.
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
You made me doubt myself for a second. I was like,
no,
it's him, right?
I don't know, man. It's like we saw Boston play the Raptors the other day, and Boston is very good. They are so good.
And they just turned it on and the game was done.
Yeah. But again, I'm going to go with a team that's already won and it's a league of superstars. The reality for me is that Boston doesn't have a player like Giannis. And Milwaukee is ahead of Boston.
Oh, I'm Adam Wild. I talked to Giannis's agent. All of a sudden, I love Milwaukee.
Yeah, you should check it out on Agent Provocateur. His name's Alex Saratzis, and the guy's really interesting.
I'm going to bet on the team with the most Octagon clients.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Noted Alex Saratzis client, Giannis Antetokounmpo. We're going to make T-shirts. And I want the Pelicans to do it. I want the Pelicans to be in the finals. I don't know why I've got a bit of a soft spot. It's mostly because of Zion. I like there's just something about the Pelicans that I've always liked, and they've never put it together quite like this. But they're third in the conference. I don't know if it's gonna happen.
He's one of the most visually, unintentionally funny athletes of all time, and I can't help but cheer for him.
No, you got to cheer for that guy. You got to cheer for that guy.
Who walks like that? He's a professional athlete. What? Yeah, no, he's unreal.
He's scary.
No one jumps like him either. No one moves like him.
You can't. Him and Bol. I've never seen another human being look like Bol does.
That's a freak of nature.
Yeah, he is. And
his
Victor,
dad.
Yeah,
his dad.
He looks like his dad.
Yeah, you're right. Victor Wembanyama looks kind of like that too. He's
gonna change sports. Like if he lives up to the potential that he could be, Wembanyama is gonna be insane.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
It's gonna be so.
I can't wait to see him suit up for the Raptors.
Shut up. No, hopefully not.
The Raptors are not.
That would be bad.
Stop it. Okay, last one.
My pick would be the Bucks. I love the Bucks as well. I think Giannis can come out of the East, even though the Nets look crazy good right now. Durant's back like full strength, so they might upset the Bucks. And then the West, our boy Kawhi Leonard.
Really?
Very injured right now. He's only playing part-time. Like he's playing like every other game and like a couple minutes off the bench and that sort of stuff.
That's championship formula.
That's what he does. Hopefully by the end of the year, if he's healthy and him and Paul George are running, that Clippers team is very good and very deep. And I think they can come out of the West.
You're going to bet for Paul George in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Playoffs, Paul George.
Right next to him, Kawhi Leonard.
Okay. Yeah,
who can break all that.
Okay.
And the Clippers, the most tortured franchise. If we're talking about tortured franchises getting championships, the Bills and the Clippers are right 1-2.
Man.
Like, holy
even when they
shit.
have a good summer, Kawhi's like, sorry, I can't play.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, you feel for them.
Like, Leafs fans, like, we have championships, I guess. Like, those teams don't.
Yeah, imagine the Montreal Canadiens were called the Toronto Canadiens. And then the Leafs had to play in the same city as them, and they win championship after championship after championship. And the Leafs get
full
nothing.
Of statues of your rival
of
your
the Toronto Canadiens.
Yeah.
You play in the same building, and you've won nothing.
And you get the home games that they didn't want. Like you get the dates that we didn't feel like it.
Oh. They're like, we got to move you for a Taylor Swift concert. Nobody cares about you.
Oh my god.
Like, fuck. Clippers. It sucks to be a fan. Last two questions. I forgot this one. We're going to guess Connor McDavid's final point total. Closest to gets a prize at the end of the season.
134.
What's the prize?
We have to determine that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
$5,000.
Okay.
What?
I don't know.
From who?
We'll find it.
I'm confident I'm going to win. I have to be because I can't afford that.
Who's who?
We take the equity out of Adam's house.
Okay.
I don't own this house. I rent this house.
Figure it the fuck out.
That's not our problem.
Cheapskate.
Okay. I say 160.
So here, he's got 65 in 34. Let me do some quick math. That's so dumb, by the way. So let's assume he plays all 82 games. He is currently, it's Christmas, at the time we're recording this, on pace for 156.7 points.
Wow.
What was his number last year?
Not that.
McDavid.
It was less. He was on pace for over 180 points, like through the first 6 weeks of the season, something stupid like that. So I have him dropping, but still 134 would give him the best offensive season of the last since Yager, probably.
Oh, Jason Robertson, though, going to win the Hart Trophy.
Yep.
So, Steve, 134.
134. I believe Kucherov has the Cap era record of 132.
160.
Oh my God.
Wow.
160.
You think he's going to go up?
Yeah, he's going up.
He's going to maintain and increase his point.
Yeah, because the Oilers are going to get better.
Holy shit.
Yep.
And now, is it closest to without going over or closest to?
Closest to.
Oh, fuck. I was just going to say 134 and then I get everything in between, but that's not how that works. I'm going to cut you guys in the middle. I'll say 141.
So 134, 141, 160. Holy shit.
Let's go, baby.
Big gap.
I want to go a little higher, 143.
Okay.
Oh,
fair.
That's trash. All right, fine.
All right, fair enough.
134, 143, 160.
Last prediction, and then we'll call it a show. Do the Toronto Maple Leafs win a first round series this season?
Yes.
I hate you.
And they're going to beat Tampa.
I hate you for asking that question. I refuse to answer it. That's it.
No, that's not.
No, that's not the
how
answer.
the game
Come on.
works.
Come on.
That's not how the game works.
Give us an answer.
Also, leave time for. I'll say yes.
Thank you.
I think they're going to win. Because I have the vision!
The Steve Dangle Podcast.
Powered by Sports Interaction. Want to bet?
Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.